Would everyone please rise? I'd like to call the Planning Commission meeting to order for July 27th, 2022, and the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Deborah Addy.
Here.
Mark Burchard.
Here.
Christopher Daggy.
Here.
Chris Hiltunen.
Here.
Christine Holcomb.
Here.
Tom Kozel.
Present.
Robert Muesling here. Robert Jacobs.
Here.
And Kathy Schweikart.
Here, thank you. Item number 4, approval/amendments to the agenda. Anything?
A motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? Robert, you want to do a roll call, please?
Deborah Addy.
Yes.
Mark Burchard.
Yes.
Christopher Daggy.
Yes.
Chris Hiltunen.
Yes.
Christine Holcomb.
Yes.
Tom Kozel.
Yes.
Robert Muesling, yes. Bob Jacobs.
Yes.
And Kathy Schweikart.
Yes, thank you. Item number 5, approval of minutes of June 22nd, 2022.
Motion to approve it. Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, can you do roll call, please? When you get a moment.
Deborah Addy.
Yes.
Mark Burchard.
Yes.
Christopher Daggy.
Yes.
Chris Hiltunen.
I'll abstain. I was not here.
Christine Holcomb.
Yes.
Tom Kozel.
Yes.
I will also abstain for being absent. Bob Jacobs.
Yes.
And Kathy Schweikart.
Yes. Thank you. Item number 6 is a public hearing. There are 2 public hearings, but before we start the public hearing, I was going to ask Christine to read the rules and comments for the public hearing.
Public hearing comment rules. 1, all comments must be made through the chairperson. Comments directed to the applicant from the audience are prohibited. 2, individuals wishing to speak have time limits. 3 minutes for each member of the general public and 6 minutes for a spokesperson of a larger group, such as a subdivision association, condo association, business group, and similar group. 3, anyone wishing to speak is asked to sign the sign-in sheet provided. However, anyone wishing to speak will be given the opportunity. 4, each individual will be allowed to speak once. It will be the chairperson's decision as to whether rebuttal comments will be allowed. 5, citizens may appoint a spokesperson to represent those who agree on a point of view. And 6, public comments on a specific public hearing request should be made during the public hearing for that item.
Thank you, Christine. We're going to start with item 6A, which I'm going to call, it's 8999 Field, the SALU. And I will open the public hearing at 7:06. Steve or Karen?
Good evening, everyone. This is a request for a special land use to be allowed to have a dog daycare and boarding operation. We have, as a group, reviewed this site plan several times over the last few months. They are in compliance with the ordinance, in compliance with the special land use requirements, with the exception of a setback from the property line. And that received a zoning variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals a month and a half or so back. I'm recommending approval of this, and tonight we're holding the public hearing.
Thank you. Is the applicant present? And if so, if you want to make any comments, you're more than welcome to, or?
We are.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Any members of the audience would like to come forward? Please state your name, your address, and any comments that you have in regards to this particular public hearing. I see no one approaching or raising their hands. How about members of the Planning Commission? Any more questions, comments? I guess I'll close the public hearing at 7:08. This matter's been like Steve said in front of us many, many times, we're now to this point that I think everything pretty much has been accomplished. We did the ZBA. So I don't know if anybody has any suggestions or a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the special land use for 899 Field Road.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and support. Any other comments, questions?
Who got the second out
Oh,
first?
I'd like to add to that. Hang
I
on a
think Mark
minute
did,
here.
maybe. I'm sorry, what?
I'd like to add on to that.
Go ahead.
What I just said, plus, subject to compliance with all township building, fire, and engineering requirements.
Still support it, Mark?
Support.
Support. We're going to give Robert a minute to write this out. Sue, did you get that? Okay.
No.
Doesn't look like it. Yeah. Well, we're not going to complain because then somebody else will have to do this job. so.
That was all building, fire, and
Okay, hang on.
It's on the bottom of this.
Engineering.
Yeah, with all township building, fire, and engineering requirements.
okay, Deborah Addy,
Yes.
Mark Burchard,
Yes.
Christopher Daggy,
Yes.
Chris O'Toonan,
Yes.
Christine Holcomb,
Yes.
Tom Kozel,
Yes.
Robert Musling, yes. Bob Jacobs.
Yes.
And Kathy Schweikart.
Yes. You're all set.
Thank you very much.
Do we need to do stamped,
Sign and stamp.
sign and stamp? the
Yes, we
drawings?
will.
He's got the stamp. Usually in the past, we have
drawings.
we used to have drawings until we went to this now paper.
Okay, I will make sure that we get those and probably, who usually signs you?
I sign, you sign, the applicants, excuse, hold on one second, just,
I will talk to Cindy and get the plans, and then we'll arrange to have each of you stamp them, assign the stamp.
okay, so we still have to stamp the plans with your signature, our signatures up here, and then you'll be set to go, okay? So Steve is gonna help coordinate.
Yeah, we'll be in contact, okay, or Cindy will.
You have my number?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, because all we have is the little ones, so. Okay, moving on to the other public hearing, which is item 6B, zoning ordinance 126 text amendments. I will open the public hearing at 7:10. Steve?
Again, this is something that's been before you numerous times. I believe we've made all the changes that you've requested on this. I've worked quite extensively with the building director, Gary, on this to highlight some of the changes or some of the references or amendments that we are making on this. Is we're specifying that accessory buildings are not permitted on parcels without a principal structure. We're just emphasizing that. If the principal building is destroyed, we're requiring that the accessory structure be removed unless there's construction within a 1 year commencing. There are some provisions on the setback of a detached accessory structure on a waterfront lot. If there's a condition of that waterfront that makes meeting our setbacks difficult, then Gary has a chance to review it and make a determination. If they don't agree with his determination, they go to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Based on the court case on one of our accessory buildings cases, the residential lot, we're specifying that residential lots of less than 2 acres now shall be permitted no more than 2 accessory structures. Boathouses, we're saying, are allowed in addition to the attached accessory structure limits that are shown in the ordinance. That's basically the accessory structure part of it, with the exception of changing some numbering requirements. That we do talk a little bit about the shipping containers, the requirements of that. All temporary structures, including shipping containers, will require a building permit. And then we get into the height of a building on the page 7. If the height of any building structure or tower exceeds the height allowed in the zoning wherein the building or structure is located, then the side yard dimension shall be increased by not less than 2 feet for every 1 foot of the building exceeds the height. So in other words, if there's something that has a taller height than what's typically allowed, we got to make sure that they're further away from the property line. This has all been, again, clarified by Gary. I asked him right before we met tonight if everything is in compliance with what he's requested and some of the problems he's had in the past, and he's indicated this is good to go. So I'm presenting it to you for your approval, recommendation of approval to the Township Board.
Thank you.
Sure.
Gary, I see you're in the audience. Are you in concurrence with what Steve just said as far as your input on this? All right, thank you very much. Any members of the audience, this is a public hearing, would like to come forward and state your name and address? Have any comments in regards to the text proposed amendment draft? I don't see anybody approaching, so I will close the public hearing and ask board members if they have any further questions close the public hearing at 7:15, sorry. Discussion. I would add, I did check with Cindy Babish real quick, because in our packet, it didn't show the notice of the public hearing being noticed, but we did have that when we got here today, so it was in compliance with what we needed to do. So we do have that.
Like you said, we've looked at it the whole.
Sorry?
Like you said, we've looked at it a lot already. The last
We have,
time
and we
just
may do it
tweaked
again.
Yeah.
Some things can return to us. It's an ever-moving target on some of these,
Well, you can bet it'll come back around sooner or later.
along with fences and everybody else that keeps showing up. So,
But it looks like an improvement.
we hope so. And Gary's gave his input on this, so hopefully we're back to everybody's on the same page. And I'm sure if someone's not happy, we'll hear one way or the other. So,
I'll make a motion to send zoning ordinance 126 text amendments to the Township Board for approval.
A second.
any discussion?
I'll look forward to it.
Forward to it. Sue, you all set with the motion? Robert, when you get a chance?
What was the numbers?
26.
Yes. Revision date? You mean like today's date?
Says as of 6/11/22.
There you go. Thank you.
Who was the second on that?
I will.
Okay. I thought you were, but. Deborah Addy,
Yes.
Mark Bouchard,
Yes.
Christopher Daggy. Yes. Chris Hiltunen,
Yes.
Christine Holcomb,
Yes.
Tom Kozel,
Yes.
Robert Muesling, yes. Bob Jacobs?
Yes.
And Kathy Schweikart.
Yes. All right, thank you. We're going to move on to item number 7, which is new business, and we have a few formatters under that. The first one is 7A, which is 1737 North Channel Site Plan Review. Steve?
This request is for property currently zoned C3. It's on Harson's Island, 1737 North Channel Drive. The business is Art Cook Marine Services. The applicant is Joel Morrison, and I reviewed this on July 19th. The applicant's seeking site plan approval to construct a 64 by 47-foot addition to the rear of the building. It's a very simple request. It's just, you see on my drawing that I provided you where it's going. It's really not affecting anything. It meets all setback requirements except the side yard, which they're proposing 3 feet, 50-foot required, but they did receive a variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals on June 15th for that side yard setback. It meets all other requirements. I'm recommending approval.
Thank you, Steve. I see the applicants here. If you want to make any comments, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I see also your builders, Joe Morrison's here also. Either one of you, it's your choice. You look like, okay, that's fine. I'm sorry?
It's all on the paper.
It is, thank you very much. Board members?
No, because it meets all requirements, there's no need for public hearing, right? It's
Correct.
No.
in
there's
front of
no-
us, and this is it.
That's it.
Cool.
This site plan approval, correct?
Correct.
Correct, which, before we get that far, again, we don't have the traditional.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that process that we stamp site plans to, but
Oh, okay.
I'll work with Cindy to make sure that we do that. I thought it was always done after the meeting in the offices, but I apologize. I'll make sure we get that.
Yeah, we have the, included in our packet this type thing, but we don't have the
Actual site plan.
actual site
I
plans.
will work with Cindy to make sure you get that.
So minus that, we'll catch up with that.
Yes.
Okay, so everything else will be doing their normal, so.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Nope, that was it.
That's it. So we need a motion.
I'll motion to approve the site plan for 1737 North Channel Drive.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and support. Any more discussion? No. Robert, when you get a chance? He's gonna get a writer's cramp. So what'll happen is someone from the township, probably building department, will get in contact with you to, if we're stamping them and getting the signature so you can have your copy, okay? But you should be set to go. How's that, all right? We have to get them from the building department, so usually in the past, we've had them sitting here and we do 3 copies, 2 go with the building department, 1 goes with you, the applicant, and then we're done. But somehow we're on a different program and,
I think all the remote things changed how we do things.
yeah, Zoom's changed a lot of things and I think we're still grappling with coming back out of that, so. We apologize, but we will definitely make sure we get it to you. Steve is usually right on top of this and I'm sure he'll contact
Cindy
soon.
in the morning.
So you will be notified immediately. And if for some reason you don't hear in a couple days, call. Okay? But good luck with your building.
Thank you.
Both of you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate it.
Deborah Addy,
Yes.
Mark Bouchard,
Yes.
Christopher Daggy,
Yes.
Chris Hiltunen,
Yes.
Christine Holcomb,
Yes.
Tom Kozel,
Yes.
Robert Muesling, yes. Bob Jacobs?
Yes.
And Kathy Schweikart.
Yes, thank you. Moving on to item 7B, which would be 7479 Dyke Road Site Plan Review, which is known as On the Rocks.
Back in June of 2016, you approved a special land use for this operation, under the condition that there would be no outside entertainment, and a second condition that the hours of the outdoor bar would be from noon until 8 p.m. only. They're now requesting a variance of that, for you to reconsider that, to allow outside entertainment from noon until 10, and extending the hours of the outdoor bar from also noon to 10. This would be a change of the special land use approval. It would require a public hearing. So I'm suggesting or recommending that you schedule a public hearing at your next available meeting, which I understand, according to Cindy today, the chairperson, when I talked to her this week, that meeting may be changed, so that's why I said the next meeting.
And I'll just add to that, for many reasons, and if you want me to go into it, I can, but the meeting next month would normally be on August 27th, and our meeting
24th.
24th, you're right. So the time frame between this and getting notifications out and vacations, talking to Cindy and Steve, we thought it might be best to cancel that originally scheduled meeting and put it on Wednesday, August 31st. So we'll give everybody enough time to get their paperwork in and notice to the public for a public hearing. And Steve, we all communicated, and we just thought that would work the best in the interest of serving our public. How's that? Okay.
So then the recommendation should be to publish this for your hearing on their meeting of August 31st.
Correct. Is anybody here on behalf of the applicant on this particular one? No? Okay. So, I know the last time around, some of us were here, and there's a lot of input from the public.
I would think once you get a 300-foot notification, you're going to get that.
I think we pretty much had a packed room on that one because of the outside entertainment was not a positive. You're already laughing.
So the atmosphere is obviously not going to change that much. The same residents are probably the same residents.
I'm just giving you a heads up of what happened last time.
That's fine.
You know, some of those are Airbnbs around there,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah, I think
and then they
lots
show up,
changed.
make a big squawk, and they're not even there.
We're going to find out. So, I
That
guess
topic will come up too then.
that's true. We're in a lot of hot topics.
Visit that one again.
So at this point, Steve, we need a motion if that's where we're heading for.
Motion to schedule a public hearing.
Correct.
One more question. Cabana Blue,
Yeah.
what's the hours there? Just because I know that question will come up, I just wanted to.
No, I agree. Cabana Blue does not have outside entertainment at all,
Not outside, but they leave the doors open.
Yeah.
which is the same thing that on the Rocks they would do, but they couldn't have outside entertainment.
They have outdoor bar out there? Because didn't he come, he came for that the last
He did,
few
but
months back.
But he was supposed to come back.
Gary, have we had any progress? Because they have not been back to us.
Cabana Blue?
Yeah, Cabana Blue.
It's in process, but we'll see, once he makes up the mind.
Because that is gonna come up in this conversation,
It is.
there's
It's gonna
no
be
doubt. The only reason he's coming to ask this is because there's direct competition
I think
a mile away.
I think you're trying to get in line with what was approved by Cabana Blue for Cabana Blue.
Right, that's why I just want to make sure that we're consistent up here with our message too, because I don't think it'd be fair to say that we're okay with it at one location and not the other
I
location.
agree. Maybe we could have Cindy pull
Well-
that out for us for our next packet for the public hearing, so we're
That
comparing.
would be nice.
The geography is different.
It is,
You know, as long
but
as they can meet the decibels at the property line, that's really all that matters.
It wouldn't hurt to have additional information, just so we
Yeah.
know what we got going at Cabana Blue and any other outside entertainment we have going, so.
I guess I really don't have a problem with the, doing something like that, as long as that, they shut it down early on Sunday, and when school starts, they shut it down very early. So if we have those exceptions in there,
Well, at this
Maybe
particular
something to look
point, we're just trying to set up for a public hearing
Yeah.
and get the public's
Yeah.
input, so we need, if we want to do that.
We know what
we
it's gonna
need-
be, but we still have to do it.
Yeah. We're not approving anything at this point, so, if somebody wants to make a motion and second it, we can proceed to that.
I'll motion to set a public hearing for On the Rocks Smokehouse and Tiki Bar, 7479 Dyke Road, for August 31st.
Second.
Are we moving our meeting from the
Yes.
24th to the 30th?
Yes, you're gonna get
Yes.
notification, but I don't,
Because there's not enough time to public it.
Right, I knew that first,
Publications,
so
yeah.
I wasn't sure if we were doing a special meeting.
Yeah.
no, we're not gonna do a special meeting, there's a lot of
We'll just
behind it,
shift
but
it.
by the time Cindy's got some time out of the office and there's not someone really covering her and With speaking with Steve, we just decided that maybe in the interest of everybody, public included, they're gonna have plenty of time to get the notice out and any response and be here, okay? So, yes, you should be getting a notification of moving it, but it probably didn't come out just yet. So I think Cindy said we have to do that 48 hours ahead of the already scheduled meeting.
Right, the rescheduling of the meeting's got to be posted where in your normal post township meetings 48 hours prior to the meeting.
Right, okay.
Deborah Addy,
Yes.
Mark Bouchard,
Yes.
Christopher Daggy,
Yes.
Chris Hiltunen,
Yes.
Christine Holcomb,
Yes.
Tom Kozel,
Yes.
Robert Muesling, yes. Bob Jacobs.
Yes.
And Kathy Schweikart.
Yes, thank you. Moving on to item number 7C, which is 3486 Pointe Tremble, special approval land use. Steve?
Yes, this was approved previously 22 years ago on April 12, 2020. They were allowed to build Algonac mini storage buildings. They're now in here to amend that plan to allow to have a second floor residential living unit, which your ordinance does allow in the business district. However, it allows only one. And Mr. Muscat, who is here today, was very forthright in contacting us and saying, they're letting me know that I wasn't aware that there was another residential unit already up there. So what we're suggesting is instead of scheduling this for a public hearing, that we talked to Mr. Muscat tonight and suggested he pursue a variance first before he comes back to us.
Okay.
So would the appropriate motion be to table this?
Table action on scheduling the meeting until we get reserved.
The client goes through to ZBA?
Yep.
I'll make that motion to table the special land use for 3486 Pointe Tremble Road until we hear back from the applicant.
Good.
Support.
Any other discussion? Sue, you okay over there? All right, Robert? And you spoke with Mr. Muscat, so he knows.
Right here.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you. You as well. When Cindy sent me the packet, and I read it, and I said, there's a whole department that's been there for 100 years that
Sure.
wasn't on there, kind of didn't seem right to not say anything, so I called and talked about it.
Well, thank you
He was very forthcoming. We appreciate it.
very much. I'm sure you'll get where you need to be.
Deborah Addy,
Yes.
Mark Bouchard,
Yes.
Christopher Daggy,
Yes.
Chris Hiltunen,
Yes.
Christine Holcomb,
Yes.
Tom Kozel,
Yes.
Robert Muesling, yes. Bob Jacobs.
Yes.
Kathy Schweikart.
Yes. All right, thank you very much. All right, the next item is 7D, which is proposed zoning amendments on solar facilities discussion.
I have been asked by this commission, members of this commission, to provide you with an ordinance on solar energy. This is a sample ordinance that we've used in other communities. It seems to fit well here, some of it. All of this is adjusted for you. I'm not asking for any decision tonight, but I'd like you to, before the next meeting or so, maybe go through it a little bit more thoroughly. It basically deals with private solar systems, which are part of a person's home, where to locate them, how high they can be, screening. And then we get into commercial solar energy systems, which are solar farms. And there are businesses out there now that are looking to find property to put an array of solar panels there. So this is just something for your review, like I said, for the next meeting.
Thank you.
Just one thing I
Sure, go
ask
right
it. I've read through this, and the one thing unique to our community that maybe we need to just look at is waterfront.
Okay.
I don't know.
How
if
to
it-
deal
if
with
it-
solar panels on the waterfront, basically?
Yeah, just because I think if somebody put a few solar panels on Pointe Tremble Road down by Johnny Liga's, there'd probably be a lot of upset people. So I think we might want to just maybe head it off.
Okay.
I think if it kind of aligns with our fence
Perfect.
stuff, that might make sense, but.
Thank you. I
Oh,
agree.
that it can't be in like the restricted yard space or
Yeah, right,
something like
you know,
that.
I was thinking about the fence thing.
just when I read backyard, then that was a trigger.
Thank you.
Some
Yep.
people,
Yeah,
backyards.
They have backyards.
Totally agree and
So
understand.
just something that maybe we want to,
Typically, they
thanks,
put it
Chris.
on the roof, don't they?
Yeah,
Where did the language come
well,
from?
I understand that.
This is what,
On the roof, fire.
this is what I developed
They don't touch it.
for other communities. I've used it in Ira Township, Birchville.
Thank you.
Township
It's,
definitely has
it's
water too.
each
so.
voltaic thing creates energy.
All right. Any other comments in regards to 7B? No? All right, thank you very much, Steve. Item number 8 is unfinished business, which at this particular point, I don't know we have any unfinished business, so we'll move on to item number 9, planning consultants report.
Okay, I'd like to introduce tonight Karen Lever.
Hello,
Karen
Karen.
is an old face to a lot of you.
Looks familiar.
She worked with me when we were both at Giffords and Webster, and I had left the firm, and Karen had left to start raising a family. I had contacted Karen not too long ago, well, a year or two ago, and asked if she could come on board and assist me with a lot of my communities, and she's graciously agreed. She's been an invaluable resource in doing a lot of work from her home while raising 2 young kids. So, and she has prepared the draft of the recreation plan for you tonight, and she would like to make a small presentation.
Get the screen down?
I don't need a.
You don't? Okay.
Right now is fine.
I was wondering who did that.
Well, hi, it's nice to see most of you again. And there's some
Been a few
faces I don't
years.
quite, I'm not familiar with, but I'm sure I'll get to know you soon. So in your packet is the Parks and Rec plan for Clay Township. This is the first draft. I've been working with Cindy on this for a little bit. I don't know if you've had a chance to fully go through it, but one of the nice things about this plan is you kind of get a snapshot in section 2, the community description of what the township demographics looks like right now and what the population trends are. Some highlights, Clay Township, the population is expected to remain relatively steady for the next 2 decades, according to SEMCOG. The adult population has grown in Clay Township, especially an age group of 20 to 34, and then 55 and up. Population of children has gone down, but with the young adult population, you might expect that those trends to change in the next few years. You get to see what your existing land use for 2020 is, and it's pretty much almost the same as it was the last rec plan. You're a fortunate community to have lots of recreation and open space in the township. I'm currently working with Cindy. Right now, we're going over the budget. I'm getting the final numbers. I know that was recently approved in June by the Township Board, so that information will be added in. Parks and Rec inventory pretty much goes over what is offered both locally and throughout the region in terms of park and recreational opportunities for residents, as well as what Clay Township offers at the Township Hall Park site and Pearl Beach. In the plan, we've also updated that section on Pearl Beach Pier to include the enhancements for accessibility at that area. Resource inventory will have floodplains, soil maps, updated maps like that. And right now, the part that I'm working on with Cindy and would like you also to think about is what do we want the Parks and Rec goals and objectives to be right now? And part of in your packet is the goals that were in your plan previously. And I just got an update from Cindy. We're going to change some of the language because certain sites that they thought might be potentially used for public park is off the table now. But I was just wondering if anyone has any questions or comments about the Parks and Rec plan or interest in anything at this moment.
Do you know which site is now off the table?
I believe it was, I'll have to get back on Cindy. They just wanted to change some language to maybe be a little bit more general. I'll have to get back to her on that.
I know there's the one, I'm gonna call it the kayak park on the island, is that still?
I think that, I think that was fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't there that launch supposed to be in St. John's too? over by-
Yeah, something about that.
Yeah, I think that's all still
That one's still
fine.
okay.
It was, I can't remember right now
okay.
exactly what it was.
Supposed to go in for, where they dredged out that cut through the middle of the island. It's all full of fragmite now. Crispin drain.
Crispin
Just
drain.
been drain again?
There's supposed to be something for that. Down like behind McLean's or something out there.
That's the kayak park, I think
Yes.
we're referring to.
That's what you're referring to? Okay.
Yes, right.
That's still-
What I was gonna say is, we did have a change, you have Secretary Whitey Simon, we have a change to that.
Right, yeah, I'll update that, yeah.
Other than that, thank you very much. Any questions, comments from anybody?
I have to I haven't poured through this yet, so
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Is there something other than us reviewing this that you need from us on the timeline? of
Not at the
things?
moment. There will be an updated draft, the next meeting or the following meeting that will have, the budget, updated budget numbers. And I guess, we'll probably get more into, because we have the goals and objectives, and then we have another section, which is like the action strategies of how do you plan to achieve these
the
goals?
5-year plan.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
that's
we're
all.
s- We're still on task or on track for getting this done, where the township was hoping for us to get it done?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be happy.
I just had a question.
Mm-hmm.
On page 18, where you talk about the Township Hall Park site,
Mm-hmm.
you have it listed as a locked pathway. I'm assuming it's supposed to be looped.
Yes, yeah, that's probably a spelling error. But I will fix that.
Well, thank you very much for the presentation, and
Okay.
welcome back to
Thank
Pointe
you,
Township.
thank
How's
you.
that? Nice seeing you back here. Steve, did you have anything further, or?
No, we're good.
All right, then we're going to move on to item 10, which is ZBA Representative's Report. Debbie?
Okay, we had three cases come up. One of them was on Autobahn. These folks needed a variance. Their lot was very narrow, and they wanted to take off the old deck and put a wood porch, take off the old wood deck and put a covered porch on. They needed a 7-foot variance. They had many, many pictures. That whole area has porches and decks and all that, so that was approved for them. 8400 South Channel, there is a owner there that bought up 3 parcels, tore down a house on one of them, not realizing that the garage and the boathouse then would have to go. So he approached us, he approached the building department, and he came up with a site plan for all 3, I call it a site plan. It's to decrease one of the lots and increase the other one so he can keep the boathouse and his garage. So he needed about 1,800 square feet off the 18,000, so that was approved for him as well. And it gave him 3 lots that he could now build on. There was a Stark Road house, a new build. He had approached the ZBA probably about 6 months ago. He wanted to put his house closer to the deck, closer to the seawall, and he was interfering with the sight line for everybody. So we declined that. He came back and revised his plan, and he put put a deck on the upstairs, and there was only 3 or 4 poles that would be in the site plan, so we approved that as well.
Thank you.
That's it. Any questions? Anything?
Well, thank you for the report. Item number 11 is Board Representatives Report. Mark?
I have nothing, thank you.
That was
Like
quick.
it.
Number 12 is Chairperson's Report. I was going to say we are going to be changing our meeting to August 31st, so keep that in mind. We'll get a notification. Secondly, there is, Michigan Township Association has hot topics in planning and zoning. If anybody's interested in any of these, you can go on to their website, and the township does pay for attendance if you're interested. Some of them you can do after the fact with watching live on some of them, so you have that.
Do you have a link for that?
You can have this, I'll give you that.
Perfect.
How's that? Save you for that. I also spoke with our Township Attorney Christine Anderson, who spoke with Steve about, correct me if I have this terminology wrong, a temporary use variance. Is in regards to someone has a house on a piece of property, has 5, 10 acre, whatever it is, wanted to leave the house up, and I know this has come up, Mark, maybe you've mentioned it. And bottom line to this, the only way that is a township that could happen is if we do something called a temporary use variance.
To allow it to remain while the construction's going on.
Either that or potentially some language where you have to tear the house down, but you can remain on the property in a temporary, like, trailer, mobile home type scenario. So I don't know if that's something we would like to have Steve look into, create.
I thought we did something like that.
I'm sorry?
I thought we did something like that.
It's been kicked around, and I'm like going through my checklist, and I just reached out to Christine Anderson, since I would call her the expert, the attorney on this, and between her and Steve, that's kind of where we ended up with, so.
I seem to remember we did something like that, because you can only have the trailer on the lot after so long, it has to be removed after the
That
house is
was
built.
the storage, this is a
That
living
was
trailer.
storage?
Yeah, the storage units, when somebody's demolishing
Yeah.
or doing, they put their belongings in an
Yeah,
on-site pod.
okay,
How's
yeah.
that?
So this is similar, but,
So, but this would be like the reverse.
yeah.
And it sounded like part of the rationale was it's harder to get somebody out of a house that was originally there if they don't agree to take it down. So if
Okay.
we do it this way, it helps protect
Okay.
the township.
We could do some further research on it.
So,
Come back with some
Yeah, okay.
recommendations.
I'm sorry?
We could do some further research and come back with some recommendations.
Okay. So that was one of the items that has come up. And other than that, I don't think I have anything else. So I'll move on to item number 13, Planning Commission member comments. No one? You guys are quiet. All right. Huh?
It's a good day.
Good day. Okay, item number 14 is public comments. Anybody in the public? I see no public present at this particular point. So how about we move on to item number 15? Adjournment? Anybody?
You're here.
Second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
We are in adjournment. Thank you, everyone.